Awesome. Well, welcome you guys to our panel session today for private schools more affordable than you think. My name is Devaney Hemingway, and I'm one of our assistant directors of admissions at Queen's University of Charlotte.
Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Meta Gauze. I am the online admissions counselor with Columbia College, but I have worked with transfer students over the 3 years that I have been here, and I'm currently standing in for our transfer counselor as well. So welcome, it's nice to see everyone.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joe Madigan, and I serve as the Director of Recruitment Outreach at beautiful Florida Southern College in Lakeland, Florida. It's my pleasure to get to work with all of our domestic transfer students here at Florida Southern College and any student that's considering Florida Southern College for the spring semester as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessie Haynes and I'm the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission at LenoirRhyne University in Hickory, North Carolina. I've been at LenoirRhyne for about 5 years, and I'm also a 2-time LR grad, both with my bachelor's and my master's degree.
Okay, and I am William Wright III, but everyone calls me Trey. I'm an admissions counselor recruiter here at Shaw University, and I work with pretty much any undergraduate student that comes into our office.
Right, so we wanted to show you a quick video that shows you the difference in public school and private school tuition before we jump into the meat of things. Oops.
We all know a college education is valuable, but paying for it can be daunting. Take a deeper look and you'll find in many instances, a private education is as affordable as a public one. School tuition is subsidized by taxpayer dollars, but the schools offer few scholarships. Private schools often have a higher tuition, but use a combination of grants and privately funded scholarships to offset costs. Here's an example of how a student with above average testing and grades compares at an in-state public institution versus a private school. You can see at a 4-year public school, in-state tuition plus room and board totals about $19,500 per year, while private tuition with room and board costs about $44,000 per year. But with merit and need-based aid provided by the institution, as well as a state grant specifically for North Carolina private schools, the direct cost of a private education is only nominally higher than a public one. In the end, there's no question college certainly costs money, but don't mistake cost and value. The incredible value of a private education includes award-winning faculty mentors, meaningful internships, study abroad opportunities, and lifelong connections. Can you really put a price on that?
Okay, so just a little bit about private education. What the video referred to is what we call the cost of attendance. So when you're looking at institutions, you want to weigh out how much the total cost is to attend that school, not just the tuition number that they'll show you on the website. Listed on this slide, you'll see everyone's FAFSA codes that are presenting in the presentation today. Please, please, please go ahead and fill out those FAFSA applications. They opened up October the 1st. The sooner that you fill those out, the sooner that we can process your information. What you don't want is for the institution to run out of those scholarship and grant funds that the video referred to. Next, so you'll need to go to the website, the FAFSA website. You need an FSA ID, username and password for the student and the parent. So you and your guardian, whoever that may be, will need that password. The mobile app is out of commission until January, but once January rolls around and they retool that, it'll be good and ready to go. The IRS data retrieval tool. So 2 years prior to the year that you're applying for FAFSA, it's going to pull the tax information from you and your parents. So please make sure that you go ahead and get that processed as well. If you have any issues, or if you were not able, or if you were not working in many instances, the institution will work with you individually on how to work through your financial aid. So once that tax information comes back, it generates a number, which is called your EFC, your estimated family contribution. That's going to be based on the government's assessment of how well your family is able to contribute to your education. Next slide, please. So really quick about all you need to know about the FAFSA. Again, the 2021-2022 school year is coming up really, really fast here. That opened on October the 1st. We talked about the EFC. Many states now have something called state residency. I sincerely caution every single student, especially transfers, be very, very careful when you're filling out your state residency determination. You only get one chance to do this, and if you do it incorrectly, it can classify you as an out-of-state student. Now, for private schools, for most of us, that may not be a big issue because we do not have out-of-state fees. But just in case, you want to make sure that you are still getting all of that in-state funding and those in-state grants that are possible. Loan interest counseling. Every single loan that you take out will have to be paid back in one of two ways. That will be your subsidized loans and your unsubsidized loans. For graduate school, I can tell you immediately, the unsubsidized loans have been removed. So all student loans now will be subsidized and then will accrue interest. If you go through the loan interest counseling, it will walk you through how much money you owe, what your payment plan will be based on various repayment plans as well. So please pay very close attention to that and take it seriously. You don't want to get into a financial bind post-graduation. The Parent Plus loan, that is essentially a loan that a parent can take out on your behalf, and it usually fills the gap between any missing costs and the cost of attendance, or there's an option out there for the parent to decide whether they want that loan to be in their name, which would be the Parent Plus loan, or for it to be subsidized in your name, which will be, again, the subsidized loan. Okay. Dependent versus independent. Many students now are going to be classified as dependents for transfers if you are under the age of 23, I believe. That number does vary, so keep an eye on it. If you're an independent student, you will have access to additional aid, but if there are outstanding circumstances, please, please, please get in contact with your admissions counselor and your financial aid office and let them walk you through the FAFSA process. Don't just fill it out because changes will have to be made and that will take a little bit longer to process.
So when you're filing the FAFSA, this is going to lead to the opportunity for students to be considered both for a variety for student loans as well as for grants and aid that comes from the federal government or from your state specifically. There are 4 different types of grants and aid that I'd like to mention, oftentimes that are factored into you filing the FAFSA. This includes federal Pell grants. This is a need-based grant. That's based on your FAFSA information and what they call an expected family contribution, an EFC, that helps determine if you're going to be eligible for a federal Pell Grant. Based on your EFC on your FAFSA, you might also be eligible for a SEOG, which is a Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant as well. This is a little bit more unique because it plays a role of the institution and how much aid that they have to award to a student, and the Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant based on the aid that they've been funded by the federal government and the number of students that may receive that at that institution. Your state may also have some specific grants that you might be eligible for. And we'll go into that in just a moment. And then institutionally, many schools will also offer institutional grants or consider you for institutional aid. And this may be need-based, this may be academic grant-based. There's a bunch of different factors that may go into that. And this really, again, is based on need or availability. One thing that necessarily isn't always based on need or availability and is more based on specifically your academic achievement, especially if you are at a community college and are a part of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Many schools are very proud to offer Phi Theta Kappa scholarships in recognition of the official honor society for 2-year colleges. Scholarships, in fact, are the #1 reason that students join PTK at the 2-year community college or state college level, because you can earn 4-year university scholarships as PTK members. What that means is if you're transferring to a 4-year university, they are going to be offering to you Phi Theta Kappa scholarships because you are part of this honor society and because of your hard work that you've done at the community college level. You do have to apply for PTK and be a member of PTK in order to receive this scholarship. Next slide, please.
So institutional aid is one of those words that you'll hear a lot, and there's really no direct definition for it. It can vary from school to school. As Joe mentioned, sometimes it's merit-based, sometimes it's need-based, and there's always just kind of a different set of criteria from one school to the next of what qualifies you for this. The good news is that mostly all private colleges offer it in some way, shape, or form. So that's something that's really encouraging, and sometimes it's hard to answer that question up front. A lot of students will ask me, well, can I get an estimate of what it'll look like to attend? And because institutional aid varies from school to school and from student to student, it's hard to kind of give that ballpark. So be patient as you go through the enrollment process. I know it's frustrating to ask a question and be given 3 steps that you need to complete before you can get an answer. But that's kind of how the process works, and understand that your enrollment counselors are there to guide you through that process. So essentially, institutional aid comes from endowment funds, and what that is it's primarily donor funded. So alumni donations kind of go into this pot of money. Certain percentages or parts can be designated for scholarships, certain parts can be designated for new buildings or projects or renovations on campus. So some money is pulled from that to go to scholarships, both for returning and incoming students. You'll have program-specific funds. So if you are interested in, being an education major, some institutions might offer a specific scholarship for education majors or business majors or nursing majors. Merit-based awards, so those are usually based on GPA. If you're applying as a first-year student, even though you have some transfer credits, that might be, even with your test scores. Athletic scholarships, so depending on the division and the type of athletic program that school offers, that kind of dictates what sort of athletic aid they're able to give. But that's a great opportunity for our student athletes to gain some additional funding towards their overall tuition. And then talent-based awards. So I know for LenoirRhyne and many others, that's primarily theater, choir, ensembles, and things of that nature that all kind of pull from the institutional aid that might be available to you.
All right, so I'm going to be talking a little bit more about outside scholarships that are available for students. These are very important as there is a lot of scholarship money that is available out there that goes unreceived because students don't take the time or things like that to go through and actually apply for these. So there are 3 websites there at the top, and I went ahead and put the link that you can get to from the recording if you would like. FastWeb, Scholly, and Going Merry are very similar. They have a big pot of scholarships where you basically create a profile, kind of tell them, a little bit about you and what you're looking for, and they help you to match to specific scholarships that you could be eligible for. So these are kind of 3 general places that you can look. And then we'll speak a little bit more about the specifics for North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, since those are the 3 states that the colleges here today are representing. So the main source for our North Carolina students will be the CFNC, which is the College Foundation of North Carolina. This is a free service that provides education planning, career planning, and help with applying and paying for college. So you can search for scholarships there for all North Carolina students. And then your South Carolina students, we offer the Hope Life and Palmetto Fellows Scholarship. These are eligible based upon merit. So there are certain GPAs, test score requirements that you can look into to see if you are eligible for those. And they are specifically for our residents of South Carolina. And then Florida, we have 3 different main outside scholarships: the Bright Futures Scholarship, EASE, which is the Effective Access to Student Education. EASE is a non-need based scholarship. And then we also have for Florida the FSAG, which is Florida Student Assistant Grant, that is actually need based. So these are just a little bit of an overall on the scholarships that you could potentially apply for outside of the institution itself. But like I said before, there are a lot of them out there. And if you just take some time to go ahead and get those completed, then you would definitely be eligible for some additional scholarship money to help pay for college.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit about how you would fund this education, and we want to flip the message from affordability to the value of attending a private school. With that, you have the opportunity to inherit like what we call small classroom sizes, to where you're faced with a name in a classroom rather than a face in an auditorium room full of people. This really enables your professors to build that relationship with you, as well as for you to utilize them for mentorship connections. I can't count the number of stories, how many times I hear students say that they love that they get that mentorship opportunity, which is something that they may not have gotten if they would have chose to go to a larger university. In addition to that, you also have the opportunity to build these intentional relationships, not only with your professors, but also with your classmates. These are going to be transfer students just like you who are starting the journey at the new school, or that they have transferred the year prior to you and are able to help you kind of through this next step in your life. And then you also are able to build those intentional relationships with the support staff on campus. And that can be everything from student life to the university president. One of the cool things about attending a small private university is that you're able to actually see the president on more than just graduation day, which is something that people typically are like, oh, I never knew that. And then you also have the opportunity for meaningful internships. A lot of times there is either office or a person specifically that's dedicated to helping you find those internship opportunities. Oftentimes the smaller schools are going to be located within the heart of a big city or in a near driving distance of a big city. So again, you're able to market your college experience on your resume afterwards. And then you also have the opportunity to have access to international airports for study abroad opportunities, whether that's through your school or if you typically find those outside on your own. And then the last couple of things I want to touch on is the lifelong connections and the transfer community. With the lifelong connections, oftentimes because it is a smaller institution, you know those people, you're having those intentional relationships, but more importantly, you're able to keep that relationship for a lifetime. And then you also have the benefit of being able to transfer a majority of your credits over to a private institution. Most of them will most likely transfer to complete your general educations. You'll want to check with the admissions office and the registrar's office at each particular institution to get more of an accurate statement on that. But it's a good general sense of knowing that it is pretty easy to transfer your credits over. And with all of that being said, can you really put a price on the value?
All right, so I'm going to speak a little bit more about Columbia College specifically and the affordability there. Just a little bit of background information about Columbia College. We are located in Columbia, South Carolina. We are a private liberal arts co-ed institution. Some of you may know us as a women's college, but we have changed to a co-ed institution as of the fall 2020 semester. We are a small, intimate community with an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Some of our popular majors are business, education, biology, and speech language pathology. Our speech language pathology program is one of just a few in the state of South Carolina that offers the bachelor's degree for speech language pathology and actually can certify students to be an SLP assistant. We also accept up to 90 transfer credits, and we do have 10 women's and 4 men's athletics teams in the NAIA division. And then I'm going to speak a little bit more about our affordability. I did include our FAFSA code there for you again, just in case that's necessary. We do have academic scholarships that are merit-based. You can see the amounts that correlate with the GPA there on your screen. These are only for our undergraduate day college. So our evening college program and our online programs are not eligible for these specific academic scholarships, but we do also offer athletic scholarships. The South Carolina scholarships I mentioned earlier can be applied. The South Carolina tuition grant. We offer service scholarships, and then we also have a momentum scholarship that students can apply for that is additional funding from the institution. And I did include our tuition prices down there. You can see that a full-time day student's tuition is $19,890, and that's before any scholarships or anything is applied. And I did include our online program tuition as well, which is $395 per credit hour and includes the ebooks for students. So that's just a little bit more about Columbia College and our affordability.
All right, I'm excited to share a little bit more about Florida Southern College here for our interested transfer students. A little bit about Florida Southern College. We are actually Florida's oldest private school, been around since 1883. A wonderful tradition and history of success at Florida Southern College for our transfer students. Each year, anywhere between 11 and 14% of our total student body is made up of transfer students. This past year, we had just over 150 plus transfer students join our community at Florida Southern College. And many transfer students are looking at Florida Southern because of our location. We are located really in the center of the state. We are halfway in between Orlando and Tampa, Florida, is two major metropolis cities. We are 30 minutes to the Walt Disney World Resort and 30 minutes to downtown Tampa, 40 minutes to the beaches of St. Pete and Clearwater. So you have a great environment, great climate to study within. We have over 3,000 plus students on our campus, about 2,500 of those undergraduate students. And many transfer students look at Florida Southern College for a couple reasons. So first and foremost, all of our classes are taught by professors. We do not have any teaching assistants. We don't have any student assistants. We are a residential campus, I love to mention as well. We guarantee housing for our students, and students can bring in up to 93 transferable college credits between a combination of community college, university, or coming from state college as well. We offer some outstanding academic programs. I love to give kind of the top majors that transfer students love to go into. Our exercise science and physical therapy programs. You can go up to a doctorate in physical therapy, is an accelerated option for a doctorate of physical therapy. Very, very strong in music, Bachelor of Fine Art Music, very popular for transfer students. Likewise, in our musical theater and theater program, rated in the top 20 in the nation. Marine biology here, and having just the access to wonderful coastlines, great research, criminology, and then the sciences I love to mention, whether that be biology or chemistry. I include in that psychology that's there, or things like forensic chemistry, criminology, and leading students into graduate professional schools. You can find more information about Florida Southern on our comprehensive website, which is flsouthern.edu/transfer, which helps you as a transfer student and has all the resources for you that you may need as a transfer student, including scholarships, financial aid, in the application process. If you can go to the next slide real quick for me there. We really try to actually give you as much information as possible. Make this simple for you. It's free to apply to Florida Southern College. We accept applications for the spring semester for transfer students and for the fall semester for transfer students. We are on the Common Application, the Coalition Transfer Application, have our own online application, and you see some averages of what a student comes into Florida Southern College with. If a student's earned more than 24 college credits, then you just submit your college transcripts from all schools attended, as well as that application. If you've earned less than 24 college credits, we will need that high school transcript as well. We offer terrific scholarships. We call those transfer merit scholarships. You can find the specific amount that would align with your own GPA at flsouthern.edu/transfer. I mentioned earlier on our PTK scholarship that we offer at Florida Southern. We offer talent-based scholarships based on auditions from music or theater. We have NCAA Division II athletics that offer scholarships at Florida Southern. And I'm very excited to announce, you're only the second group of individuals hearing this today, that Florida Southern College has now partnered with Raise Me transfer scholarships that students can earn as well. All of this together averages out to just under $35,000 a year that our transfer students receive, constantly making us a top financial find as we're talking about affordability for students, whether it be you're coming from the Carolinas to Florida Southern College or another location joining us here today.
Excellent. So as I mentioned earlier, LenoirRhyne University is located in Hickory, North Carolina. We're kind of right in the middle of Charlotte and the mountains. So we are really accessible to the Asheville area, Boone, Blowing Rock, Charlotte, even into Winston-Salem as well. So we're in a really neat location. On our campus, we have about 1,500 undergraduate students. I always like to clarify that. If you do, a quick Google search, you're going to see a number closer to about 2,700. The reason for that is that we do have graduate programs on our campus. We also have 2 other campuses that house graduate programs. We have a campus in Columbia, South Carolina, and a campus in Asheville, North Carolina. So again, those are just for graduate studies, but on our campus, there are some graduate programs, but 1,500 is what you would see kind of day to day on your walk to campus and in the dining hall. Average class size of about 17 with a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So small class sizes and those one-on-one relationships with your professors and faculty are something that we really pride ourselves in at LenoirRhyne. We have over 50 undergraduate degree programs, as well as about 30 graduate programs. I added Bridges to Dreams here. I know that's not a super familiar term across the board, but what that means is that you can start a master's program during your senior year of undergrad. So it's kind of like dual enrollment. If you did any of that in high school or anything, you're kind of earning credit towards that next degree while you're finishing out another one. So it'll meet your major requirements at the undergraduate level while allowing you to start earning master's credit as well. You can earn up to 12 credit hours towards a master's degree during your senior year of undergraduate. So if you're looking at our MBA program, that takes about half off of your overall master's program. And then we also offer the Alumni Advantage. That's a 20% discount on your grad school tuition if you finish your undergrad at LenoirRhyne. Overall, we are a very transfer-friendly institution. We accept up to about 90 transferable credit hours. We accept students for transfer fall, spring, and summer. So it's a year-round process. You can start at any term that you wish. We also have 2 summer terms. So some students only need 1 class and they'll take that in the second summer term, or if they need 2, they can bridge those over 2 summer terms as well.
Okay, so Shaw University, first and foremost, we're located in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, which is the state capital. We are the oldest HBCU in the South, so we were established in 1865. We have about 1,300 students, so we're a fairly small campus, and our class sizes are 17-to-1. So what that means is on a smaller campus, you'll know everyone's name. You'll definitely get some face time with your professors. You'll see our admissions staff. You will see the president. Literally everyone on campus that works here, you will have some sort of interaction with them consistently. We have 21 undergraduate majors, which are highlighted by computer science and social work. There's a very large push for social work on this campus, and we highly encourage our students that are interested to apply. The best thing about our campus, our point of pride, is probably the family atmosphere. It's just like being at home. You'll recognize everybody, you'll have a good time, but we're going to make sure that you stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize, which is graduation and employment. To get into Shaw University, you're going to need a 2.0 GPA, but we are a private institution that prides ourselves on helping students. So if you need more assistance or if you don't meet those criteria, reach out to me or reach out to any of the counselors that you see on this slide. Let us know what's going on and let us try to work with you and still get you admissions to our institution. This year, due to the pandemic, so the 2021-2022 school year, we are test optional. So if you were unable to take the ACT or the SAT for whatever reason, please let us know. And again, we will waive that requirement for you. Athletics, we are CIAA Division II. Our men's sports are highlighted by basketball and football, and our ladies are highlighted by basketball, cross country, volleyball, and bowling. We have over 30 student organizations on campus, the most popular of which is, of course, the NPHC, or the Divine Nine, as we call them. So all the fraternities and sororities within that conglomerate are on campus and active. As far as outside scholarships, or inside scholarships, I should say, we have sports scholarships and band scholarships. So if you are interested in either of those areas, please, please, please reach out to me. Get me those huddle links, send me everything that you have, and we will get that process rolling for making you become a student athlete. We accept all outside scholarships. So on that slide that you saw, C of NC, even private scholarships like Discover, please apply to everything that you can. We like low-hanging fruit as well as those big money scholarships. So get with us, let us know, and we will work with you. And then last but not least, as I made reference to earlier, FAFSA opened on October the 1st. Before funds run out at our institution and every other institution, please go ahead and apply and get that FAFSA in so we can get you processed and get you all of the funds that you have spent all of high school working so hard to get.
Right. And at Queen's University of Charlotte, you can kind of see some fun facts here on the screen. We were founded originally in 1857 as a women's college, and then it went coeducational. So a very diverse kind of group and organization that way. We have about 2,400 total students. That does include our graduate school population, and about 1,900 make up traditional undergraduate students, which are freshmen and transfers that are looking for that on-campus traditional experience, as well as a small population, which is about 400 or so of our adult undergraduate students. So you have the best of both worlds sort of with that. Our average class size is about 16 students, and we have a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So really great opportunity, again, as everybody has already mentioned, for you to really know your professor by name and for them to know you. And then we're located just 2.5 miles from Uptown Charlotte, which is our downtown, but it's the highest point of the city, so it's called an uptown. So there's a fun fact for you. You can see that our transfer student population makes up about 36% of our students. And then we have students from 35 states, 23 different countries. We have about a 10% international student population at Queen's. So really cool opportunities with that. So after you apply to Queen's, I will let you know every student is automatically reviewed for merit-based scholarship. Traditional age students will find out that scholarship opportunity within their acceptance letter if you qualified for it. Adult students, it's put within your financial aid package after you register for the number of credit hours that you are going to be taking. We do offer Queen's institutional-based grants, such as for our ABSN program, some of the nursing programs, and different need-based grants of that. We do have the Queen's commitment for any transfer student from Central Piedmont who graduates with your associate's degree. You'll be considered for a minimum of a $10,000 merit-based scholarship. We do have the legacy as well as the alumni referral scholarship. So if you know a Queen's alum, or if your parents or grandparent were a alum of Queen's, you would qualify to receive that, or if someone refers you receive the same amount of scholarship money for that. And then we also are NCAA Division II athletics, and so we offer athletic teams. We have 24 different teams, so I won't name all of them, but I will say probably the most notable is our men's basketball team, as well as the men's and women's swim team, who have won 5 consecutive NCAA D2 national championships. Would have been 6 this past year, but COVID happened, so they didn't get to compete, so they're going for 6 this next season. Then we also offer talent-based scholarships, music and music therapy majors. There is an audition that is required for that, for you to declare it as a major. And then, as mentioned by my other colleagues on this call, that departmental scholarships may be offered depending on the major that you are choosing. You can see our undergraduate tuition rate at the bottom. Our adult students pay a per credit hour rate of $492 per credit hour. If you are, it's optional for transfer students to stay on campus, but we do have a large number of transfers that do, and obviously a meal plan would be required for that. So awesome. So if you have any questions at all, you can see our contact information listed on this screen. We are so grateful that you could join us today, or that you're watching this recording at a later date. Again, if you have any questions at all, contact our admissions office and we'll be happy to touch base with you. But thank you for joining us.
Sorry, I was still muted. Thank you all. That was amazing. I learned a ton about each of your schools that I can definitely take back and share. Did anybody have any questions before there were no attendees, so they'll get to go back and watch it later. So there were no student questions.
No questions. I believe that we'll still get the registered, like those who registered, that thing sent to us. So reach
You
out.
can reach out.
To
And people get busy and technology goes down and it happens. I understand. It was so nice to meet you all. And I hope that the rest of your sessions go well.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Bye, y'all.
Y'all.